So we learned what is the condition for achromatism of two lenses placed in contact. So this we learned in our last class. So this is condition for achromatism of two lenses placed in contact. So which were the two lenses that we took? So one was the convex lens and another was the concave lens. So the convex lens was made up of the material crown glass and the concave lens was made up of by the material flint glass. So these two lenses had different materials. So and these two lenses were kept in contact. So when the lenses are kept in contact, the condition for achromatism is omega prime divided by omega is equals to minus f prime by f. So here omega prime is the refractive power, that is dispersive power for the concave lens, and omega is the dispersive power for the convex lens, and f prime is for concave lens and f is the for convex lens. So we saw the mean ray had f prime in case of concave lens and mean ray had f in case of convex lens. So this is what the condition for achromatism of two lenses placed in contact. So now in this section let us learn what will be the condition for achromatism of two lenses which are kept or which are separated by finite distance. So let us learn what is the condition for achromatism of two thin lenses separated by a finite distance. So here we need two similar lenses. So let us take two convex lenses. So that is lens 1 and this is lens 2. So these two are separated by the finite distance. Let this be L1 and this be L2. And these two lenses are made up of same material. So here the material for the two lenses which we have used is same, and these two lenses are kept coaxially on the principal axis, and the distance between these two lenses is x. X gives the distance between two lenses L1 and L2, and F1 and F2 be the focal length of two convex lenses. So for this the focal length is F1 and for this focal length is F2. And omega 1 and omega 2 with the dispersive powers of two lenses. So omega 1 and omega 2. This is the kind of given data. So now we have to find what is that condition for the achromatism. So when you have two lens which are made up of same material and these two lenses are separated by distance x. So in last case we saw the condition was something like omega prime divided by omega is equals to minus f prime divided by f. So now let us see what will be the condition for the system like this. So we have learned how to write the equivalent focal length for the two thin lenses which are separated by a finite distance. So let us write the equivalent focal length. For the two lenses L1 and L2. So 1 by f. So f here denotes the equivalent focal length. So 1 by f is equals to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus d divided by f1, f2. So here the separation distance between two lenses is x. So if I substitute that in this equation, 1 by f will be 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus x divided by f1, f2. So we got what is the equivalent focal length for the two lenses L1 and L2 which are separated by a distance x. So now let us differentiate this equation. 1 by f is equals to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus x f1 f2. So if you differentiate 1 by f, so here partial differentiation minus dou f by f square. So because here it is 1 by f, so differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. So here 1 by f is there, so differentiation of 1 by f is minus 1 by f square and delta f. So this is equals to, here 1 by f1 is there, similarly you can write minus delta f1 divided by f1 square minus, so here 1 by f2 is there, minus delta f2 divided by f2 square. And here you have the term that is minus x divided by f1, f2. So separate this term in terms of u and v. Let u be x or let u be 1 by f and v be x by f2. So minus, keeping x by f2 constant, what you will get is minus dou f1 divided by f1 square. So minus x by f1 as constant, what you will get, minus dou f2 by f2 square. So let this be equation number 2 and this be equation number 1. So here in this equation you have minus dou f1 divided by f1 square. Let us take this term here as omega 1 divided by f1. So what we are doing? So we are considering minus dou f1 divided by f1 square as omega 1 divided by f1. Dou f1 divided by f1 square is equals to omega 1 divided by f1. And similarly you can write f2 square is equals to omega 2 divided by f2. So here we are just writing the terms in different way. So substitute these two in equation 2, then what you will get? So first term will be what? Omega 1 divided by f1 plus second term is omega 2 divided by f2, and what will be left? Minus x divided by f2. So this term here can be written as omega 1 divided by f1 and minus x divided by f1, and this term here can be written as omega 2 divided by f2. So what we have done here, we have just substituted the values that we have changed in the equation. So now again, so here you have omega terms and x terms. So let us separate these two terms. So or let us take the LCM. So here f2 omega 1 plus f1 omega 2 will be divided by f1 f2. So here you should do cross multiplication. So LCM of omega 1 divided by f1 plus omega 2 divided by f2 will be f2 omega 1 plus f1 omega 2 divided by f1 f2. So this is for omega terms. So similarly you have x terms also. x omega 1 divided by f2 f1 minus x omega 2 divided by f1 f2. So the denominator terms are same, f1 f2 f1 f2. So what is different is, so numerator terms. So if you take minus common and f1 f2 common, then what you can write, x omega 1 plus omega 2 divided by f1 f2. Why? Because the denominator terms in both the terms is same. So hence LCM is f1 f2, and from the numerator terms x1 omega 1 plus x2 omega 2, you can take x common. So if you take x as common, then what will be left is omega 1 plus omega 2. So for an achromatic combination, f should be same for violet and red color. So if at all, if it is same, then only we can eliminate the chromatic aberration. So for achromatic combination, f should be same for violet and red rays or red colors. So that is, change in f is equals to 0. So now what you will get? So this term here is 0. So f2 omega 1 plus f1 omega 2 divided by f1 f2 minus x omega 1 plus omega 2 divided by f1 f2, which is equals to 0. So why we have taken 0 here? Because we are considering the achromatic combination. To eliminate chromatic aberration, so we will use two lenses wherein the focal point for the violet ray and the red ray will be same. So that is, the change in f will be 0. That is, delta f is equals to 0. So if you take this here, then you can write f2 omega 1 plus f1 omega 2 divided by f1 f2 minus x omega 1 plus omega 2. So if you see here, f1 f2 here is common. So if you take 1 by f1 f2 common from the two terms, and if you send 1 by f2 f1 to the right hand side, then that will be equals to 0. So what will be left is omega 1 f2 plus omega 2 f1 minus x omega 1 plus omega 2 is equals to 0. Now here there is a negative sign, so send this to the right hand side. Omega f2 plus omega 2 f1 is equals to x omega 1 plus omega 2. Now what we want is distance between the two thin lenses. So here x gives the distance. So let us write the equation for x. X will be equals to what? So omega 1 f2 plus omega 2 f1 divided by omega 1 plus omega 2. So this is the distance at which the two lenses should be kept. Now when the two lenses are of same material, then omega 1 will be what? Omega 1 will be equals to omega 2. So in that case, x will be f1 plus f2 divided by 2. So when two lenses are made up of same material, then dispersive power for that material will be same. So that means omega 1 will be equals to omega 2. So if you substitute that here, what you will get is x, that is the separation distance between two lenses, as f1 plus f2 divided by 2. That is focal length of first lens plus focal length of second lens, and this 2 is divided by 2. So that gives the separation distance between two thin lenses. So this is the condition. So this is again the condition for achromatism of two thin lenses which are separated by finite distance. So here we have L1 and L2 which are made up of same material. So if these two lenses are made up of same material, then X, that is separation distance between these two lenses, will be what? F1 plus F2 divided by 2. So then only the achromatism occurs. So this achromatism can eliminate the chromatic aberration that occurs. So hence we found what is the condition for achromatism of two thin lenses which are separated by finite distance. So X is equals to F1 plus F2 divided by 2. And we also found what is the condition for achromatism of two lenses placed in contact. So this we learned in our previous lecture. So wherein we got omega prime divided by omega is equals to minus f prime divided by f. So both these conditions and the derivations are important. So please try to understand them thoroughly, such that if any problems asked on this section, then you can solve them easily. So next let us learn what is eyepiece and what is Ramstein's eyepiece. So here we have to learn what is eyepiece. So before jumping into this section, let us learn what will be the arrangement of object lens and eye lens in a microscope or a telescope. So object lens and eye lens will be arranged something like this. So the first lens which you are seeing here is the object lens. So this is called object lens. So the object will be beyond this lens, and here you have the eye lens. So object lens here is smaller than the eye lens because the object lens will send as many rays as possible to the eye lens, and the image which will be formed after the refraction through this object lens and the eye lens will eliminate this spherical aberration. Now here you will have the field of view. So that is, so if you have eye lens here, so the field of view for E is like this, and for this E is like this. So for the second case, the field of view is larger. So to increase the field view, what we will do is we will replace this eye lens by eyepiece. So eye lens will be replaced by eyepiece just to increase the field of view and to reduce the aberration. So the eye lens is replaced with eyepiece in optical instruments like microscopes or telescopes to reduce the aberration and to increase the field of view. So there will be the combination of lens that will be used to replace eye lens and to keep eyepiece. So that is the combination of two lens or lenses is used in place of eye lens. This combination is called eyepiece. So what are we doing here? We are replacing the eye lens with eyepiece. So this is done because to reduce the aberration that is occurring and to increase the field of view. And this combination which we are using to reduce the aberration and to increase the field, so that combination is called eyepiece. So this eye lens will be replaced with eyepiece. So let us draw the diagram for objective lens and the eyepiece. So again you have the objective lens here, and this lens is followed by the eyepiece. So this eyepiece actually reduces the aberration. And this here is eyepiece and this is eye lens. This is field lens and this is eye lens, and this complete system is known as eyepiece, and this is objective lens. So you have objective lens and eyepiece, and this eyepiece can actually remove the chromatic aberration and the spherical aberration. So from this side you can see the image. So this is the eye. So eyepiece has two lenses. So the first lens here is field lens and the second lens is eye lens. So field lens is kept closer to the objective lens and the eye lens is kept far from the objective lens. So eyepiece is the combination of two lenses. One is field lens, which is kept towards the objective lens, and the other is eye lens, which is near to eyes. So what is happening here is, so we have the eyepiece, so which consists of field lens and eye lens. So this field lens is kept near to the objective lens and eye lens will be far from the objective lens, but this eye lens will be near to the eye. So this system, which is eyepiece, can reduce the chromatic aberration and the spherical aberration. So this is what we learn in this section. So now what is eyepiece? So by definition, eyepiece is a device used to magnify an image formed by the large objective and directs the light to our eyes. It is a device used to magnify an image formed by the large objective lens and directs the light to our eye. So this is what the eyepiece is. So what it does is it magnifies the image that is formed from the objective lens. So you will have the objective lens first, and there will be the image formed because of the objective lens, and this image will be small to observe. So eyepiece will magnify the image that is formed by the objective lens, and this light rays from the objective lens will get directed towards our eyes. So that is the role of eyepiece in the telescopes and microscopes. So for example, the objective of a microscope or telescope forms a real image of an object under examination. So what will happen? So the objective forms the real image of the object which is kept for examination. The function of eyepiece is to enlarge the real image that is formed from the objective lens, so that the final image will be free from various aberration that can be seen by the eye. So this eyepiece can eliminate the aberrations. So basically this can eliminate the chromatic aberration and the spherical aberration. So in the next section, let us learn what are the different types of eyepiece that are possible and what is the construction of the eyepiece, and we'll also see what kind of image that will be formed from the different eyepiece. So there are basically two eyepiece, Ramdan's eyepiece and Huygens eyepiece, which is given in your textbook. So we'll learn these two different eyepieces and their equivalent focal length and the position of equivalent lenses, and what will be the image and what will be the nature of image that will be formed. And at the end we will also learn the merits and demerits of the eyepieces, and later we'll learn what is the difference between Ramdan's eyepiece and the Huygens eyepiece. So this is all for the next class.